know what happens actually.
What's that, sir?
It's okay with me. You can record. I don't care.
Okay, right.
So are you gonna upload? Are you gonna upload on YouTube channel?
Yes, I will. Yes, yes.
Uh,
Right. Well, I was hoping there would be more of you, but that's okay. Ah, we have someone else. No. Mhm. Right. Okay. Moigo, she's trying to reconnect. Are you with us now, Moigo?
Yeah. I'm with you. Sorry for being late.
No problem. No problem. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the jungle. Right, guys. Well, I was hoping there'd be more of you guys. I understood that there are 15 participants. Hi, I can see you now. Right? Okay.
Okay. Right now, just
I'm going to meet you.
I'm joined right now.
Okay, right. Excellent. Right. Okay. So, I understood that there are 15 of you, right? I was hoping that more of you would be in the meeting, but we're recording this right now, so I'm going to upload it to my YouTube channel. I have a new channel for education and teaching. It's Dynamic English. You'll see it. I'll send you the link, of course. Well, first of all, I don't know if you've seen my previous videos. We did a workshop on the B2 exam, the Cambridge B2. But my name is Mark Anthony Chesner. I'm an American, 55 years old. I've been a teacher and teacher trainer for about 25 years. I specialize in English for specific purposes, specialized didactical material for different businesses, industries. I've designed courses to train teachers in modern technologies and methodologies in the classroom. I was a partner in a franchise of language schools in Italy for 8 years. And basically that's where let's say I got my feet wet. And I was didactical director for the franchise, 27 different language schools, trained all the teachers, selected and produced different didactical, or let's say educational training materials. And now I'm in Bulgaria, Sofia, Bulgaria. I've been working on a project for the last 3 years, which is an online language learning platform. It's a Moodle platform. It's really close to being done. It's never really done because you're always adding new things or trying to improve things. But I'll show you this through during our workshop. We'll glance back at it. I'll show you what I've done. I'm married, and that's about it. I'm married to a Bulgarian, lovely woman, Marina, and that's it. And now I'm here with you guys. I was hoping there'd be more. We don't really have time for introductions. You guys know each other, and maybe we'll find time throughout the workshop where we can have more one-on-ones, this and that, different types of, let's say, introductory activities. But in the meantime, I don't know how much you guys know specifically about the Cambridge. It's a CAE exam, the Cambridge Advanced exam. But in the program, we need to take let's say, a very detailed look at the different aspects of the exam. Well, I'll just pull up let me just start sharing stuff, sharing things, sorry. Right, I'm American, so let me just share my screen here, guys. Get back to my screen. Right, okay. Let me get rid of some of these things. Right, let's bring that up. And right, I don't know if you've received the outline. Right, I don't know if you've received the outline of our program for this week. Let me just try to, how do I hide ribbon? Right, okay. Now here it's broken down into videos, but this I'm going to change to different sessions where we're together 5 different times, 5 different sessions in the workshop. And basically this is what we're going to do each day. And we'll look at just a quick overview. Today it's a type of orientation. I want to look at the different formats of the exams, the results, how they're tallied, different resources that you can use for self-preparation. We're going to be looking at some of those together, doing some things together, some preliminary testing. There's a lot of information here, okay? And then as we had in the last workshop, there's a daily task that I've adapted slightly to the Cambridge CAE requirements, let's say, not requirements, but level and all that. So, in saying that, and well, session 2, it'll be we'll see this in just a moment, but the exam has 4 different parts. You probably know this: reading and use of English, writing, listening, and then speaking. Okay. We're going to be touching on all the different parts, and we're going to try to focus more on the writing. And I'm trying to come up with some very clever way to help you with your speaking, right? If you're here at this level in the competition, then I believe your level of English is quite good. But still, let me stop sharing just for a moment so we'll jump into this in just a moment. Okay. Right, that's Mukandas, right? Welcome. Right. My name is Mark Anthony. Welcome to the jungle. Right, guys. So first of all, a pep talk. Okay. It's obvious that your level of English is quite good. Otherwise, you wouldn't be at this level in the competition. And I'm sure that I don't need to control the volume or the speed of the way I speak. I'm sure you all can understand me quite well. Okay. So I'll try not to do that. I'm a teacher, so I instinctively try to slow down my voice, pronounce myself very, very carefully so everyone can understand me. But I believe your level of English is quite good. But first of all, pep talk. Okay. Now, even though you have a high level of English, I don't know what you're doing every day with the language. Now, this exam, like we've just seen, we're going to look at this in a bit more detail. The exam has 4 parts: reading and use of language. Okay, now you're probably quite good at that because you're probably constantly reading things online. You're looking at more complicated syntax and grammar, maybe at a C1, C2 level. So I think you're okay there. We're going to look at that. Okay, but then you have listening. I don't know if you're listening to movies, or if you're doing it without subtitles. If you're watching news broadcasts from America or England or any, let's say, English native speaking country. The writing. Now, the writing and speaking, these 2 are very, very important. We'll look at the way the different parts of the papers are let's say tallied and weighed. Okay, but if you're not writing at C1 level every day, that doesn't mean chats. It doesn't mean very quick emails that you're sending to maybe some colleagues. Complicated written language at C1 level. I don't know if you're doing that every day. Even if your language is good and you're not doing this, then you need to practice. Okay, we know that. Then, and I've designed I have an online tool that'll help you with the essay writing. I'm looking at some ways we can do that with the other part 2 in the writing. We're going to look at that in just a moment. And then the speaking. Now, it's one thing to be speaking in your classrooms, but you're not speaking at a C1 level. You're speaking at, you're slowing down your voice. You've taken time to pronunciate your words very carefully. You're not using vocabulary that's beyond the understanding of your students. Okay, so these two things, the writing and the speaking, they're very important, and we need to work on those. Okay, so that's the pep talk. I'm going to give you assignments, right, that you can do. You can choose to do. I suggest that you do them. That'll help you practice all four of your skills. So, okay, and all the documents, all the web pages, all the links that we look at today and every session will be included in the, good afternoon, sorry for being late. No worries, dear, welcome to the jungle, right. Let me just get rid of that, okay. I'm going to upload these videos to my YouTube channel. I'll provide you with a link. I have a new YouTube channel that's empty at the moment. It's brand new, right? It's for education, and you'll have all the links available to what we look at today. Okay, so saying that, let's just jump into it. Okay, right. Now, even though you might know some things about the exam, you might not know everything. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Let me get rid of these online artifacts. And let's see if I can just, let's do this. Okay, right. It's a little better. Put this up here. Right, guys, so let's just jump into it. Okay, so you're looking at a C1 level exam with 4 different parts. We've just mentioned that we have reading and use of English. Okay, quickly, it's an hour and a half. We'll look at this additional information a little bit down the line. The writing is an hour and a half. The listening is about 40 minutes. The speaking is 15 minutes per pair of candidates. Okay. I don't know if you're going to be doing the exam online or you're going to be, it's going to be a SAT exam. I'm not sure. Okay, but let's look very quickly at the purposes here. Right. It shows you can deal confidently with different types of text, such as fiction, newspapers, and magazines. Test your use of English with different types of exercise that show how well you can control grammar and vocabulary. The written, right, you have 2 parts. Basically, part 1, essay. Part 2 is a choice between letter and email, a proposal, a report, or an interview, right? The listening has 4 different parts. Test your ability to follow and understand a range of spoken materials, such as interviews, radio broadcasts, presentations, talks, and everyday conversations. Okay. Here, when we look at this, you understand that it's going to be very important understanding not only what's being said, but how it's being said. Okay, right? Intonations, emphasis on the words, because this can mean different things. You can, especially when you're using sarcasm or something like that. We'll look at all this. Okay, in the speaking, there are 4 parts. It tests your ability to communicate effectively in face-to-face situations. You will take the speaking test with another candidate, right? Okay. And if there's an odd number in the end, there might be 3 individuals in the speaking exam, right? Now, here, this is the exam formats. Let me just skip to the next one. Right. Now, I'm going to provide this book for you also. Okay. This is information for candidates. It's a good guide. Okay. And it tells you it's going to continually give you little pep talks, and it's going to help you with do's and don'ts. We're going to look at those together. Okay. When we talk about each aspect of the exam or each part of the exam. Okay. But it's important to, let's just get over here. And what is this? I'll get out of my way. Excuse the gray boxes. They're artifacts, so go away quickly. Right. Okay. Basically, all right, this is a step-by-step guide. Like I said, I'm going to provide this for you. It's going to help you do well in the exam. Do the best that you can do. Right. Now here, these little boxes are actually quite important. Right. One, this is why we're having this session right now. It's important that you understand what you need to do in each part of the exam and follow all the instructions carefully. Right. The more you know about what you need to do, the less you worry about the instructions, and it'll reduce your stress level. You'll just be ready to attack as soon as you have the opportunity, right? Okay. Now here, practice tests are useful. We have two to work with. But they're only one part of your preparation. You also need to practice your general language and communication skills, regardless of how good you think your language is. If you're not using it all day, every day, reading, writing, listening, and speaking, then you need to practice, guys. I'm a teacher, do the work. Your teachers, you know the drill. Okay, right. Now here, where can I find practice tests? I'm going to provide you with the two practice tests. What we're going to do these piece by piece. Each session, each of the following sessions will represent one part of the exam. And that will also include, other than our daily tasks, I include you actually doing a practice examination. Okay. Now we also have these online. I'm going to show you that in just a moment. And then we'll have one practice exam that I'll provide to you that you can sit down and try on your own. Okay. Or maybe with different colleagues. I don't know if you're working together or if you're studying together with different colleagues from your own school, for example. I don't know the dynamics, okay? But it's a good idea, especially with the speaking test, because you need to practice speaking, okay? Right. We're going to look at all these different practice self-help materials together, okay? Right. Now, let me just get over here. Now, I'm taking the time to do this because even if you have this book already, I don't know if everyone has read this. So I can only assume that you haven't. And it's very important because the more you know about the exam, the better you're going to feel and the better you will do on the exam, the better prepared you will be. And that means you'll do better on the exam. Right. Right. It's C1 Advantage is a qualification for learners who have an advanced level of English. Okay. The exam, it tests your knowledge and ability in English at level C1 of the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. That's a mouthful, right? Is accepted by universities, employees, government departments around the world as an indication that you have achieved a high level of skill in the English language, right? It is based on extensive research to make sure that each paper is the right length and the right level, so your exam results will reflect your abilities fairly and accurately. And we'll see this in the scale. We're looking at the different scales based on your points, your resulting points. Okay, is designed to show your ability to use English in a range of different ways. Okay, can be taken on paper or on a computer. I'm not sure what format your exam will be. Okay, but we're going to also be looking at their online um, um, practice exam, sample exam. Okay, so I'm sure it'll be something similar in format. So as we're practicing online, if you're going to be taking the computer-based test, you'll actually be getting better oriented towards that format of the exam. Okay, right. As we've seen, 4 different parts. Not going to go into it. Okay, we're going to look at the scoring individually. I've broken this down in a bit more detail because even when I started looking at it, it was a bit confusing. So I did the work. I did the due diligence. Okay, and we'll look at this together. Right. This is important here. Do I need to pass all 4 papers? The answer is no. Okay. It's possible to pass the exam if you do well in some papers, but not in every paper. For example, if you do very well in reading and use of English, I said language before, English, writing and listening, but you don't do very well in speaking, it's still possible to pass the exam. And we'll look at that when we look at the point and percentage breakdowns in the scoring. Right. What's the difference between taking the exam on paper or on a computer? The content of the exams is the same. The scoring is the same, and the final certificate is the same. Okay. Cambridge English offers two versions of the exam, paper-based and computer-based, just so you have more choice and flexibility in how to take it. Okay. Right. Can someone tell me quickly, are you taking paper-based or computer-based?
Well, actually, it is paper-based.
Uh-huh.
I think it's paper-based.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, that's okay. Because you'll have the opportunity to do the practice test online, and I'll want you to do that. But
It
also
will be just, sorry, it will be just a practice test, yes?
on the website they have a practice exam for reading and use of English, writing and listening, but not for the spoken part.
Mm-hmm.
Your exam on the day of your exam will be a real exam, I believe, and it'll test all four abilities: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. But what we're doing now will all be practice exams. The two sample exams that I have, they're actual past examinations, so they're very close to what you could expect on your exam. So they'll be useful. Right, preparing for the exam. Let me repeat: if you're not reading, writing, listening, and speaking all day, every day in English, and you want to do the best that you can do on the exam, then you need to practice. You need to invest time in studying, doing some activities, writing essays. Maybe you haven't written a report in some time, and just to brush up on your writing skills. For just quickly, I've built an online guided activity. It's on my webpage. I'll show it to you. Maybe not now. When we focus on the writing, that'll take you step by step through the different stages of preparing and writing an essay, and I'll look at what we can do for the other possibilities. Okay, let's move on. Preparing for the exam, a successful and enjoyable journey, because learning is an enjoyable journey, begins with good preparation. Right. For C1 Advanced, this means you should practice your English in all four skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Improve your grammar and vocabulary for communication at C1 level. Right on. Can you mute your phone, please?
Sorry.
Or mute your. I like the music; it's nice, but right. Understand how the exam is organized and assessed. We're going to look at that. Understand what will happen on exam day. Okay, we'll look at that also. Excuse me. Right. Keep reading to find out more about how you can prepare for each paper. Okay, we're going to look at that together. We saw in B2 there were word lists. We had different pieces of language. I gave you lots of information to study, ways of saying things, ways of different types of language you could use for different purposes, for the writing, for the speaking, and all that. The C1, it doesn't do that. It doesn't have that, because it supposes that you're at a level where you've already mastered the B1 vocabulary, the grammar, and all that. There are C1 materials out there, okay, and there are. I'm going to show you some exercises in just a few minutes, or a place where you can go to practice at a C1, C2 level. Actually, okay, you always need to just to reach above, try to strive for more. Okay, let's just keep going here. This is not so helpful here. Right, well, it gives you some self-study tips. We know this because we're teachers, right? Have a notebook, create a notebook, start writing a diary even. This is not on the list, but practice writing as much as possible. You have essays to write, you have emails, letters. Start making all of your communication with your colleagues that you do every day, do them in English. Stop using Uzbekistan right now. until you've passed the exam. The more you write, the more you speak, the more you listen, the more you read, the better you will read, you'll listen, you'll write, and you'll speak. That's logic, okay? Practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the more you will improve. That's just logic, right? That's all we're going to look at today here. All right, okay. Like I said, I'm going to provide this book for you, okay? We're going to be looking at each one individual based on the topic of the session that we're in, okay? But let's just keep going here just for a moment. Okay, next. Next, I want to talk about the results. How are we doing on time? 45 minutes in. Right. We might have time to move ahead. We'll try to, we might try to find something more interesting, interactive to do at the end of the lesson, okay? So I need some feedback from you guys also. Right, the results. Now, I don't know if you're clear on how they tally the results. Now, because they say it's not a pass or fail exam. It's based on your score. Now, the only way that your score will not be reported is if you qualify at level B1. You have to at least get a total 160 points to qualify in the exam. And let's just have a look at this a little bit larger. And this is the basic score. We're going to look at this will be repeated several times in the next few minutes, but if you get between 160 and 179, it'll rate you at a B2. 180 to 192, you'll get a grade C on your certificate. It'll say grade C. It'll show your score, grade C, and then C1, but you still place at C1. 193 to 199, grade B, C1. If you get 200 and above, maximum score is 210, you get a grade A, and it places you at C2. As this is a competition other than the exam, and your scores or go against your position within the TeachX competition, am I correct? Anyone?
Yeah, that's correct.
Right. We all want to be here, right? We all want to
Yeah,
be.
sure.
To do that, it's going to take some work and dedication and your willingness to invest some time in perfecting your English, okay? You know, as teachers, other than what we do in the classroom, we often get lazy. Okay, now, the way we speak in the classroom is not necessarily the way we speak normally in casual English conversations. We start sounding American, say, yeah, okay, what you gonna do tomorrow, Now, we need to break these habits for the spoken exam, okay? We need to practice what we need to do. Okay, well, we'll look at the activity in just a moment. Let me just keep going because I get off track. Right. Okay, here's our scale here. This is the Common European Framework, and we have a total of 230 here, which we can't achieve that in this exam. The best we can do is 210. You can see the scales here, all the way to the top of C2, starting at A1, below A1 at 80 as a threshold, and then 230 max scale here. This is where we are right here. Okay, we're going to look at something else here. I believe it's just right in line. All right. Okay, now we've seen the scoring here. Okay, but how do we arrive at those scores? Because we also have a score, then we have a percentage. It can be confusing, but I think it's important that we understand what's the best we can do in each part of the exam. What are the scores? How are they tallied? And how are these weighed against my overall score? Because if you, like they've told us, if you do really well in 3 areas and do poorly in another, your overall scores and percentages are averaged out, and it averaged across the 4 different parts of the exam. Okay, but let's have a look at that. Okay, right. Don't want to do all the narrative here. Right. Which pill would you take? The red one or the blue one? This looks like the beginning of an English lesson, doesn't it? Conversation. I don't know. I think I'd stick with the red one. I've seen the movies. It's not fun. Right, guys. Okay, let's get into it here. Let me just try to get all this other stuff off the page. Right. Okay. As we saw this before, okay? Now this is dealing with all the Cambridge qualifications here, the English qualifications, or the different categories of qualifications, okay? And we're here, C1. Now let's see. Right, we don't need to look at that. Where is the, right, okay. Right, this is important. A few weeks after you've taken the exam, you receive your certificate, which shows your overall score, as well as the results in the separate papers, okay? So it shows these individually. And actually, the reading and the use of English are treated separately. Even though they're in one exam, we'll look at the different parts, which parts correspond to which, the reading or the use of English. But here's basically an example exam. Has your name, your grade, you have the level here, okay, and your individual scores. Right. Now, this is what I want to look at here. Reading. This is going to look at the different parts of the exam, how they're scored, and how they're broken down, okay? In Cambridge C1 Advanced, let's see if I can get this a bit bigger on the screen here. You do reading and use of English in one combined paper, but they are marked separately. So in order to calculate your score, you need to know which parts belong to reading, which parts are in use of English. Right. Reading makes up 20% of the overall result. The paper, because 5 different parts now, divided by 100 divided by 5 is 20. The paper has 8 parts, okay, the reading and use of English. But part 1, 5, 6, 7, and 8 count towards reading. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For parts 1 and 8, each correct answer is worth 1 mark, while parts 5, 6, and 7 get you 2 marks. There's a total of 50 marks in this part. Okay. And you can see the score, how they're broken down here. This would be the minimum score that you could achieve, right? Maximum 200 here. B2, C1, C2. Okay. From 17, let's say out of 40, you got out of 50, you got 43. So that leaves you with a score of 200 in their scale, right? Right, in the picture above, you can see how to convert the number of marks to a score in the Cambridge English scale, as well as a Common European Framework level, CEFR, CEF level. I don't need the R. To pass Cambridge Advanced, you need to get into the the C1 range or higher. Right here, 32 marks or higher. If you fall below 32 marks, your score is still reported, but is only level B2. Everything from 43 marks upwards falls into C2. Okay, so we really need to try to do as best we can on this exam. We need to practice use of English. Right. As part 1, as parts 1, 5, and 8 count towards the reading portion of the paper, only parts 2, 3, and 4 give you marks for use of English. Again, it's 20% of the overall result. Right, parts 2, 3, and 4 count towards use of English. Right, each correct answer in part 2 and 3 is worth 1 mark, while you can get up to 2 marks in part 4. we'll look at this in more detail when we're looking at the individual, let's say, sections of the exam and the sample materials, the practice materials, okay? You can score a max of 28 marks on this paper, right? You need a minimum of 16 marks to break the threshold for C1. Listening, right? Here it's a bit much more straight to the point. 20%. Every part of the listening paper counts. Of course, you get 1 mark for each correct answer. There are 30 marks in total. Okay, threshold of 18 marks here. The writing, right? Now, writing is a little more complex than the previous 3 papers. The reason for this is that you have to write 2 texts, which are marked individually, but then you add them together to get your score. Secondly, there are 4 different marking criteria, so you need to combine 8 marks to get your score. Again, 20%. The 2 texts count the same towards your score. Okay, you can get up to 5 marks in each of the following criteria: content, communicative achievement, organization, and language. With 4 categories and 2 texts, there's a total of 40 possible marks in your written test. Okay, right. Next is speaking. All right, the speaking paper is even more complex than writing. We have 6 marking criteria in the speaking, but they are not weighed equally, just to make it easy to understand, I guess. Again, 20% of your overall result. Right, the different marking criteria count differently towards your speaking score. You can get up to 5 marks in each of the following criteria. Up to 5 marks. Grammatical resource multiplied by 2, so 10 possible marks. Lexical resource, again multiplied by 2, so again 10 possible marks. Discourse management, again max 5, 10 possible. Pronunciation, the same. Interactive communication, the same. Okay, right. Global achievement multiplied by 5, so 25 possible marks. 25 times 5 is 75. It's a little complicated. I know. Seems complicated. Right, so you have a threshold of 45 for C1. So you half of 35 is what, 37.5. So we don't want to be here. We don't want to be at the threshold. We want here 200 and above. Right, guys? You can do it, right? Can you fail the exam? No. Okay. Officially, there is no pass or fail in the Cambridge English exam anymore since the scale was introduced. However, if you take the C1 advanced test and your overall result is below 180, you won't get a certificate for C1. You get one for B2. But I've understood in different materials, if you don't qualify even for B2, then you won't qualify for a certificate. Right. Okay. Let's just get out of that. Right, I've got a document here that goes a bit more into the markings, the calculation. Okay, and I want to run through this again because with the writing and the speaking, it's maybe some of you don't, maybe it's not clear. Okay, right. So just a quick review, and we'll look at this, how it's calculated at the end. Okay. Reading, there are 34 items with a possible 50 total points. Okay, as we saw right in the reading, right, as we saw before, part 1 and part 8 is only 1 part. 5, 6, and 7, you can get 2 points. Total of 34 items, 50 points. All right. Here, 22 in use of English, 22 items, 28 points. Parts 2 and 3, 1 point per item. Part 4, up to 2 points per item. Okay. Writing 2 items, 40 points. This was quite clear, I believe. Write 1 item has a possible 20 points. Part 1, 20 points. Part 2, 20 points. Okay. Maximum points of 40. We'll see how this turns into a percentage in just a moment. Listening, you have 30 items, 30 points. Straightforward. Each item is worth 1 point. Right, the speaking. 75 points in total, not divided into items as parts. In this case, the score is assigned 2 different competencies. Okay. Even though there are 4 parts on the exam, the speaking exam, you're evaluated on these criteria, competencies. Grammar, 5 points, and they're all worth 5 points. Grammar, lexis, discourse, pronunciation, and interaction. Right. Total global points, 25, timed multiplied by 5 is total of 75. Threshold is, well, minimum pass is 45 points. Below that, if I'm correct, you don't qualify. Where was I? The speaking. You don't qualify on the B1 level. No, here it's okay. Don't worry about that right now. Okay, so now the process to calculate your score is easy peasy. Have you ever heard the term easy peasy lemon squeezy? It's an American thing. Or is it a British thing? Stolen by the Americans? Not sure. Right. Pay attention because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you exactly how to calculate your C1 advanced scores. But be careful not to make a mistake because it's pretty easy to mess up. Follow these steps. Okay. Now, you'll have this document also, so you'll have this for your reference. Add up the points for each part separately. There are 5 parts, right? For example, reading, 30 points. Of course, all of these for all of you are going to be max scores, right? Reading, 30 points. Use of English, 19 points. Written, 32 points. Listening, 25 points. Speaking, 51 points. Okay. Now we need to work out the percentage for each part. In order to do so, divide the points by each part of the number of items, then multiply by 100. Right. Okay. So, for example, let's look at reading. We have a maximum points of 50. You received. We'll just do this very quickly. I don't know if you can see my calculator, guys.
Visible, you can see.
Can you see my calculator?
Yes, sir.
Lovely. Okay, so I'm sure some of you understand this, but maybe some of you don't. Okay, in your reading, you have your score is 30, divided by the possible total amount, gives you this, times 100, 60. Opa. Hey, look what I've done. Let me just do this again. Oh, no, I can't do that. Right. So basically, the amount you scored divided by the total possible points times 100. Right. Or for those who know the math, 0.6 is 60%. So we know that. Okay. So that's not so difficult. Okay. Really, it's not so difficult. And you do this all across the board. And then you calculate the average. Calculate the average percentage, right? You add up all the different percentages. You add 60 to 68 to 80 to 83 and totaling with 68. And then you divide it by the number of elements in the equation, right? And there are 5. So it's divided by 5 and voila, you get an average. Okay, right. Now, let's just say here, B2 failed. That's what they said. Well, B2 is not a fail, okay? But it's not, this is not our target. You passed the B2 exam, all of you did. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So this is our goal, guys, okay? This is our goal. 200 and 210. But you'll need to practice, guys. Don't think that, oh, my English is perfect, I chat with friends from England every day, or I write them emails, but you have deep, complicated, intelligent, challenging conversations where you're looking for the right word because you're getting into a bit more advanced language. The structures are more advanced. You're going back and forth in different times and different tenses, this and that. How often do you use the past perfect and the past perfect continuous? For example, in the language that you use now, today, your usual daily language. How often do you use the future perfect continuous? Maybe not so much. So you need to refresh, you need to focus on this, because the more, especially on the speaking and also in the writing, this and that, okay? The writing and speaking, you need to have an easier access to the things that you know, and you need these fresh in your brain, so they'll come to you. That means you need to practice using them, for example. Right, okay. Let's move ahead. What's next? How are we doing on time? We're okay. Right, let me just check my notes quickly, guys. I know you can see this, but that's okay. Right, someone else is, Maurifat, right? Wait, I have two chats, what's going on? Okay, good afternoon, sorry for being late, sorry. I have a question. Who Sadukat, ask. Guys, you can interrupt me, by the way. If you have a question, say it. You might say, excuse me, or something like that, but if you have a question, be bold. Ask the question. Sadukat, hit me. Sadukat, are you there? Sadukat, you have a question? Okay, maybe not. Maybe the question is moot. Let me just close that up so it's not blocking the screen. All right, guys. Okay. So first of all, any questions about the results? Are there any questions about the results?
Sorry, are you asking me?
I'm asking anyone. I'm asking everyone if that's clear. Again, dealing with specifically with the results of the exams. I'm going to provide you with this document, so you can
It's
review
clear.
it.
It's clear. Thank you.
It's clear.
I had
Yeah.
a question.
Yes. Okay. Waiting for that. Saduhat.
Yeah, it's me. Well, you said before that we will be given the home assignment, yes, to complete.
Yes.
You will share this in the Telegram channel.
I'm going to share it with you at the end of we have some time left in our session. What, do some of you need to leave, or?
No, anyway, we don't have everyone there in our session because.
Oh yeah, I know.
More.
15, I believe. Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm recording this. Oh God, I hope I'm recording this. Yes, I'm. Let me just check that. Let me stop sharing for a moment. Yes, I'm recording. Thank God. Right. So I'm going to upload this to my YouTube channel, and that way everyone will have access. I'll provide, as I did with the earlier workshops, I'll provide you with links to download, where you can download the documents, all that. Everything will be available. Okay.
Thank you. And will you check this if we will complete?
Well,
sometimes.
Well, I can. I'll need to speak. Right. Sorry.
Because before we were given just the right answers, and if we had some questions or if we had some doubts, we couldn't ask anyone.
Well, I did invite you to leave your questions in the comments below each video. You have my email. You
It's
can send
clear.
me.
I got it.
Yeah, you can send me. Yeah. Oh, feel free to, and tell your colleagues the same. Feel free to send me any questions you have by email. I'm also on Viber, WhatsApp, I'm not on WeChat anymore because I don't know. I don't go to China anymore. And Messenger, WhatsApp, and Viber, yeah, or email.
I got you. And how many sessions we
5.
will have?
This session 1 of 5.
Four left, yes?
4 left, right. This is an orientation, trying to get you set up to know what you have to do, how you can start practicing and studying for the exam, and basically to introduce myself. Okay, I want to say congratulations to everyone, but there are only 4 of you here. I guess you can pass on my best wishes to your colleagues. I was hoping that, because I'm not very clear on the dynamics of what you guys are doing in the exam. Are you studying together? Are you studying on your own? For example,
I think we have an option because we are free to participate to sessions, to join the sessions or not, or we can just work on ourselves. And I think it's not mandatory.
No. These sessions are not. They're not mandatory. Okay. I was just hoping to. Well, hopefully your colleagues will watch this at a later time. That's okay. That's fine. And of course, I'll have access to all the documents. They can study on their own. That's fine. But no. My question was, are any of you working together, studying together for this exam, for the TeachX competition?
Sorry. No, actually, I don't know anyone.
I don't know anyone.
Because we are from different kind of regions. We have some people who are working far away from the origin city.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we don't have anyone to practice. That's why it will be helpful if you just practice with us.
Right. Okay. We don't have enough hours for me to have an impact on you.
Yeah, I think our sessions will be just once a week. Yeah.
No, it's going to be every day until Sunday, right?
Every day.
Until Sunday, yeah.
Until Sunday, right?
So much, I think.
Well, it's an hour and a half. It's 7.5 hours total.
And after completing all the sessions, we will have our exam.
Well, I believe you're setting your exam. I'll have to look. Not immediately. No, not immediately. Your exam, I believe, will be.
But anyway, it will be in April. Yes, it's gonna be in April.
April or May, I believe. End of April or May. I'm afraid to. Well, let's see. I'll open these up.
Because
it's okay. We'll have extra time to brush up.
Well, brushing up is a very light word, dear. Okay, Bezod. I'll tell you. I asked the question and he responded. Right. Give me a second. Let's not look at that. Now look at that. Right now. Come on.
I'm just willing to know
beginning of
the
April.
exact. Oh, it's April, yes.
Yeah, beginning of April. So the exact date I don't know. Bezod would know.
Because anyway, I'll try to participate. The reason is why I'm doubting. I'm pregnant, and I must give a birth in few days. Yes.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's a bit strange situation.
Well,
I was waiting. It will be in March, in the beginning of March, but it was postponed.
Right. Okay.
So many times.
Right. So, well, either way, these sessions I'm recording them. They will be on my YouTube channel, so you can watch them at your convenience. I wouldn't want to complicate your pregnancy. So, right.
Okay. It's
Thank you
okay.
so much. Thank you for your support,
Right. Yeah. Thank you very much.
emotional support.
Yeah, I'm proud of you guys. Really, you're doing a great job. I can tell your level of English is good, but I'm going to repeat myself. How often do you find yourself speaking at a level of English where you're looking for the vocabulary you need to express yourself?
Okay, well, I
Just-
really don't need vocabulary to speak to another people or native speakers. I think it's not a problem to me.
Just we've learned some advanced vocabularies, but we just seldom use them. That's why it's gonna be a problem for us.
Well, okay, every problem has a solution. It's not a problem, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
Okay? Now,
Yeah.
we all know there are two distinct levels with non-native speakers. There are two levels. There's what that's what you know and understand. Then there's what you know and what you use. We need, and that represents a gap. You understand much more of the language than what you use. We need to reduce that gap. You need to start using more, practicing more advanced syntax, vocabulary, trying to discuss very, very complicated issues, something that's going to be challenging to your language. Because, okay, even though if you're speaking to me, I'm going to understand you. One, I'm a teacher. Okay, I'm a native speaker. So even if you make mistakes, you're going to communicate your idea. Okay. And in the normal world, that's okay. But on the exam, no. On the exam, we need to, this is us showing our ninja English speaking abilities. So we need,
Yeah.
well,
So
okay.
I think you want to say that to speak in a C1 level, it's a must, yes, in the exam.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you correctly.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
I think I just have realized from your words that it's a must to speak in a C1 level in speaking.
Yeah.
In the exam, in the real exam.
On the exams, C1, C2, it depends on how well you want to do on the exam. If you go into it, okay, maybe you've taken exams with C1 exams in the past, okay, or maybe you've certified your language at C1 maybe a couple years ago, or maybe 10 years ago when you started teaching, something like that. You still need to practice, really. You still need to practice.
Okay, just thank you for the question. Will we be given on the exam just a topic to be discussed with our partner?
We're going to look at that. I believe that's on the last day. We're looking at that. We're going to look at that. Did you send me
I
something?
also wanted to ask, and who will take our exam? Who will take this?
Not
Native speaker?
right.
Speaking.
I believe, yes, a native speaker. I'm sure it'll be a native speaker.
But it's not you, yes?
No, it's not me, unfortunately. Actually, that's against the rules because I can't, a teacher cannot be an examiner. I am an oral examiner, and I've done Cambridge and Pearson and the London Chamber of Commerce and others, right? But not in this case. For the HIPPO competition.
But anyway, there will be native speakers, yes?
Native speakers, right?
Okay, could you give us some structures and just recommended words, vocabularies, I mean, for writing and speaking?
Well,
just
see,
talk through and
for
to brush out.
well, I'm going to show you some things right now, okay? But for the Cambridge exam, C1 exam, there are no vocabulary lists. There is no.
Okay.
Yeah, because they say, well, they're C1. They've already passed B1, B2, and I'm going to show you right now in just a few minutes some ways that you can prepare yourself. Okay, right. So, right. Okay, let's have a look at this page. Let me just close this up. You guys are gorgeous, but let me just get this out of our way. Right. Okay. Okay. So now, first of all, this is the site.
Mhm.
Have you all been here before?
Just, I guess not. Just, I
This,
haven't opened it.
this is the official website for the Cambridge exams.
Mhm.
Okay. It'll if you want that now, I can put it in the chat if you like.
Okay.
I can try. Right, to everyone. No, copy to everyone. Et voila. Right, you can copy and paste, open it, save it. This is, we're going to be focusing mostly
Just perfect.
on their, let me close this, on the resources they provide us for the
Mhm.
preparation materials and other things that we can find, okay? So here, very quickly, 3 paper-based sample tests. These are actual exams from the past. Paper 1, okay, is used on the online sample exam. We'll look at that in just a moment. So these you can download for yourself. And instead of downloading them again, I was afraid when I open up some of my files, you never know what you're going to see. Oh no, I'm in Uzbekistan, right? Bear with me. Right, okay. And these are the documents you get in the, can you see my, yeah, you can see it. You have all 4 parts, and it gives you the listenings. So you
Mhm.
can practice your listening, you can practice your speaking, you can practice your writing. I'm going to do something for the speaking. I've done something for the writing, and I'll show you this before we go today. So here you have reading, writing, listening, and speaking, and you have the answer keys. Okay.
Mhm.
I would,
Okay.
if you want to download this and play with it and experiment with it, read it, study it, do that. Okay. Now the sample, save the paper 2. Save this. Don't look at it, because this will be our actual simulation for you. Okay. After the workshop. So if you look at this, it's like cheating. It's not going to be a real simulation, and we need to understand how we do in a real life situation. Okay, so don't download sample paper 2. If you want, download sample paper 1, and that's okay. Okay,
Mhm.
right.
Mhm.
Now,
Okay.
next page.
We got you.
Gotcha. Right. Okay. Right, Mr. Chesner. It's spelled without a T. Are there any sample questions? Yes. In both, let's just go back here. You have, I know maybe this is what you're worried about most. You should be worried about the written and the spoken. Not worried, but willing to improve the speaking. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, right. So part 1, it runs through the, this is the dialogue that the invigilator is going to be asking you. Okay, some of the possible questions, which you can prepare in advance. Okay, this is
Are
basically
there any, are there any time limits to the parts of the speaking part?
part 1 is 3
Mm.
minutes. 3 minutes for groups of 3. Because I
Sorry,
mentioned,
I missed.
right, okay. Different possible questions. You can understand the gist of the questions, okay? Where are you from? What do you like to do? How long have you been studying English?
Mhm.
Different things about free time. You can practice doing these, okay? Basically talking about yourself, okay? And doing this, it'll improve your fluency. I wasn't going to go into this right now. This is on day 5. Um, but it guides you through. It's like a step-by-step how the exam will go, what you'll have to do, comparing some pictures, describing some pictures, answering some questions about the activity. This is candidate 1. This is for candidate 2. Part 3 is a bit more complicated, but we'll look at this on day 5. Okay, guys, don't worry. We're going to go through all this, and as I told you, I've made something for you. Let's just do that, and it's actually. I'll have to go to my Facebook. Oh, this is always scary. Right. Okay. Did I put it here? No. Et voila. Okay. I didn't have to go to my homepage. I find the weirdest things on my homepage. You know, never mind. Okay. Okay. I'm here. Where are you? Let me get to. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. Okay. This is dealing with the writing. Obviously, we're going to be jumping around a lot in our topics. Excuse me. Okay. So, and let me just F11 this. And, right, okay. Someone else is coming on. This is my website. I have a website, I have an online learning platform. We'll look at that sometime during the workshop. But right now, what's important is the website, because I post different types of activities in the blog that we can use, and this is specifically for us. Okay. And basically, it's a step-by-step process on guiding you through the essay writing process. Gives you tips, advice on what to do. Okay. Step 1, step 2. Step 1 is preparing to write. Step 2, organize your ideas. You include your ideas step by step, right? And etc. Then stage 3, you write. It allows you an area to write your essay, actual essay. Then self-assessment, right? Then reviewing here. And then an additional exam task, okay? I believe this is from the sample exam 1, okay? But what's important here, okay, then step 6, reflect on how successful you are. I give you different suggestions, this and that. But at the end, you can create a document that has all of your work under each of the steps that you can take away with you. So, and that way you can practice many different ways, many different times. These are, I'm getting too much in the detail at the moment because we're not doing writing right now, but I'll just give you this link. How's that? Let me just make sure that's not the correct address. You can try, I believe. Wait, let's go to blog post. Right. No, that's something else. Where am I? Here we are. All right, there's the proper address. And I'll put this again. It's something for you can play with, guys. And we'll look at it in more detail together, but not today. But you have access to it. Right. Let's get up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Right. We can get rid of this. And where were we? We're here, I believe. Okay. So a quick look at the computer-based sample tests. Okay. It has a tutorial, but everything is pretty self-explanatory. The video is 9 minutes long. Those who care to watch it, please do. But for example, we click on the reading use of English, and eventually we'll load the page. Okay, it's a practice one. On the real exam, you'll be asked to place in your name, date of birth, and candidate number. Okay, but here it's general. So my details are correct. Right, okay. The instructions, read the instructions. know what you need to do before trying to do it, okay? And then start the test. And it loads up here, okay? And here, for example, this is a gap fill here, and you choose the right answer. I don't know if that's right. I realized that he had to catch when their trust, of course, right? Okay, here you can practice this. This is only one exam, and someone else is chatting with me. Oh, thank you. You're welcome, Mr. Chesner. Mr. Chesner makes me sound so old. Right. Okay. So, and you see part 1. You have your arrow. This is navigation. You can navigate.
Part 2, yeah, part 3.
I believe part 4. Where's part 4? Oh no, these are the separate. No, you can't. I'm sorry. It's all here. Your navigation. You can navigate to each of the questions here. Right, and it leads you into the next. Right, into the next section. Right. Okay. So you guys can figure it out. It's not rocket science. Okay. And the same for the listening and the writing. But see, the writing here, there's no way to correct your writing. It just gives you the opportunity to write an essay. Right. Parts 1 and part 2. You know this already. Right. So part 1, it's an essay. It gives you the prompts you need. I believe this is from the sample exam 1. Okay. Right. And if you go to part 2, you have a choice between 3 different possibilities. Here you have a report, you have a review, and or a letter. Okay, you choose 1 out of 3. You make your selection here, and then you write your answer here. 220 to 260 words.
Okay.
But it's not. It can't correct you. You understand? There's no AI behind that that'll correct it. But there is a tool. Okay. Oh, by the way, here's the answer keys to the reading and use of English, the listening for these here, for the computer-based based sample tests. Okay. Now here, I want to look at this also. I believe I have this open. All right. Okay. Now, if you click here, just close this up. Click here from this page. Now, Cambridge, it's not only for the exams, it's also for teachers, for students. It has a lot of useful information. Okay, here we'll go by level. It's proficient. That's where we need to be, right? And it has 36 different activities for you. And they're dealing with different aspects of the language: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Okay, and that's 36. Now, beginning of April, what's the date today?
Can you do it with no charge?
Excuse me?
Just can you do it these activities with no charge?
I don't understand.
Just without any payment? I mean.
Oh, yeah, no charge. These are free. Yeah. These are all free. So don't worry about that. They're all free. 36 total. So there's a lot of things you can do to practice, and you're at C1, C2 level. Okay, you're not B2, high B2, C1. No, this is real language, native level language. So this will help you a lot.
Okay. Thank you.
To review, to practice, to even nobody knows everything. We don't know everything. Okay, I learn things every day. So okay, you have these resources. Okay, I'll have all the links for you. By the way, where'd my page go? Okay, let's go back. Now there is a tool for writing. If I can get back to the page, there we are. Okay. Now, but I've played with it. Write and improve helps you to improve your English writing level fast.
Fast.
Right. Just like choose a task, get instant feedback, and keep improving. But I've tried some things. It's not an AI. Here, I suggest creating a profile. I believe I have Did I sign with Facebook? Right. I was in with Facebook. Right. Okay. So
Mhm.
of course we're here, right? Advanced. So it gives you different prompts that you can write about. Different things. A review. Right. Answer the question about medical doctors. Well, let's just say, okay, a new task. Okay, right. This is asking you about your profile, and it gives you the situation. It gives you
Mhm.
an area to write between 150 and 300 words. Our target is between 220 and 260, right? Right. And I'm not quite sure if it's going to check your grammar or whatever, but you can practice here, and it will give you some type of feedback. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And it gives you different situations to write about, you know. Instead of saying, well, today I'm going to write about carrots, for example. This gives you more complicated situations so that you can really try using higher level vocabulary structures, syntax, and all that. Okay. So you have that
Mhm.
also, right? Okay. We're going to be doing these together. Don't worry about that. Be working on these together. A writing checklist. Yeah, you could have a look at that. Again, on that day, I'm going to be showing it to you anyway, but we can have a look at that. Right, it just goes into like a self-check process on your writing. It's a little activity there, gives you some things to think about, and checklist for writing C1. Okay, just gives you, it's like a big pep talk. We know what a pep talk is, right? It's what the coaches give the football players before they go out on the field. Right, and right, this is the book we're using here. The book we're using, which I close. Oh, the book we're using here. Okay. Again, you'll have links to all this under the video once I upload it to
Mhm.
YouTube.
So,
Right. Let's see. Now, before we preparation. Right. Okay. Not to forget. Okay, guys. Now, how did I get here before? Test your English. Maybe it was. It was on this page right here. This is the link. Test your English, and it's casual, okay, but you can check yourself. I would you can do general or for school. This is academic, right? More academic in nature. This is just more general in nature. I believe there are 50 questions. I've done the general one, but I missed one. So I still got C2, but I actually missed one. I was like, oh, and it was just because I was rushing because I didn't read I missed reading one word in the context of the question, and it was a preposition, and sometimes it's all it takes, right? You have phrasal verbs and collocations with prepositions. Anyway, we're not going to do this together, but I would suggest trying them. You never know, and see how you do.
we'll try.
Okay, please do. Right. Let's see. Right, and before you go, how many are you? Let me stop sharing for a moment. That's all that. You'll have all the links. Okay, 2, 4, 5. All right. Dilbar is connecting with audio. Right, guys. Okay. Last but not least. Okay. Just share my screen again. And now you've seen this before, but I'm wondering if any of you have actually done it. Right. Now, in our last workshop, I wanted you guys to do something every day. Okay, if you can't do it every day, you have until the beginning of April, and today is the 24th. Let's say that'd be 6, throw another 7. Maybe you'll have it on my birthday, which is the 7th of April.
Birthday?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That'd be nice for your luck.
In advance, congratulations.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Congratulations
oh,
beforehand.
thank you very much. I'm going to be 55, old dog.
55. Do you look younger? Actually.
I'm not grading you, dear. Thank you, but I'm not giving you the grade. Right. Thank you
It's not
very
about this.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding. Thank you very much. Right. Okay, so let's say you have 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
That's great.
Okay.
Which means that what's your schedules like right now? Are you teaching right now, or are you on some vacation, spring vacation?
Actually, it's
Yeah, spring
vacation
vacation.
for
We're in spring
students.
vacation.
Yeah, but teachers have to
school.
work.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, you'll need to find time to study and practice. We know that. I don't need to say it, but it begs to be repeated. Right. Okay. So daily task. Now, because this is online, and especially in the last workshop, it would have been impossible for me to correct any type of homework or assignments. I can try to do some things, answer some questions for you guys. You're only 15, which makes it a bit more manageable. But so I had to come up with an idea, that a comprehensive idea on how one could practice all 4 communication skills. One, or you guys, or an individual. Okay. So basically, it's this: reading and writing. First, you choose a daily research topic, make it complicated, challenging. Look up at least three different references, maybe different points of views, pros, cons, benefits or dangers, whatever. Depends on the context. Okay. Research it well. Okay. Topic-based essay entries up to 260 words. This is based on the research topic. Our max is 260 words. We need to learn what that is, so we don't have to count on the exam, or what that looks like, based on the research topic. And then after that, a specific task-based entry at 260 words, based again on the research topic. Here you have an essay, then it's either an email or letter, a proposal, a report, a review. Be creative, okay? Challenging topic, write an essay, and write another supporting, it's a exam entry, but another form of communication, written communication. Then listening and writing. Writing, we need to practice writing, you know that. So find an English broadcast related to the research topic, okay? No subtitles, don't cheat, okay? And then here, write another of the part 2 written tasks, again 260 words, based on the English broadcast. Okay, so you have 3 different sources of information based on this topic. You have a supportive English broadcast on or about the topic, okay, the research topic. Then speaking. This is where you need to work with someone. You need to speak with someone. If you guys could work together, even on Skype or Viber or Zoom, we all realize that we need to practice our language. We all realize that we need to practice the language other than the language we're using in class, because that is not a very challenging level of language, because you're teaching them. They're not C1, C2. They're B1, B2. So you're very restricted, and we get lazy, and we start talking that way in everyday life. or even when we're talking to a native speaker. So we need complicated, challenging topics that are going to challenge all of our knowledge of the English language, spoken, reading, writing, listening, and speaking. That's what we can do. Now, I call these daily. I'd love for you to do this every day. I realize that you're not, okay? Or no, I realize that you're challenged with time and availability. You have lives, you have work, you have families, you have all that. But try to do a few of these, okay? But make them really challenging, really, really challenging, okay?
Understand.
You'll have a link to this below the video once I upload it to my channel. I'll send the link to that video to Bezote, and he will forward it to you. I think that was my pep talk in the end, right? Right, okay, right. We've done all this. Right, guys. Questions, guys? Let me stop sharing.
Oh, I think it's everything clear.
Right, okay.
So tomorrow we also will have
Tomorrow,
this session,
Tomorrow,
yes?
same time. Yeah,
At the same time?
at the same
At 5?
It was supposed to be 5 o'clock your time.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay, guys. So what are you going to do this evening? How are you going to practice your English this evening?
Okay. Just we will try to find a partner to discuss a
Right.
challenging topic.
Are there many? Okay, come on, go. Can you go out? Or is the pandemic keeping you inside? Are the restaurants and bars open?
No,
Okay.
it's everything open.
Sure.
Huh?
It's everything
Yeah.
open too.
Everything is open? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Now, this might not be easy, but go out and find an intelligent foreigner, an intelligent, sober foreigner, right? That you could have an intelligent conversation with. No, I don't know.
No, I think we also can listen some TED Talks on
yeah.
YouTube.
I highly
Also
recommended. Highly recommended.
useful because the more we listen, the easier to speak in English and
Well,
to send our ideas.
there are several things that I love about TED Talks in the classroom.
Yeah.
You can use them in any classroom. You know that. You have speakers from different ethnical backgrounds. Not all of them are native speakers, so they have accents and different. They also make mistakes. Okay.
No, the topics are really interesting.
The
and
topics are vast.
Some of them are really motivates and
right. And if you listen to the TED Talks from the TED site, you have access to the transcripts.
Okay.
Which is excellent, because you can make a series of lessons just on one TED Talk.
Okay.
Dealing with bespoke materials, using the transcripts for different activities, not only listening comprehension, but also dictation. There are many things you can do. I love the TED Talks.
Just we must produce ideas, we must produce language, yeah.
Well, we can, right. Now you're also, wait a minute, you're also doing a course in improving your teaching skills, right? Or was that only in the last level?
Just we're not.
Yeah,
just
you mean TTT, yes?
Yes.
TTT, yeah. I guess it's gonna start tomorrow, maybe the day after tomorrow.
Right, I'm curious about, I'm curious about the content. I'd love to see the syllabus, because, you know, I've been training teachers for over 20 years. So
Wow.
I'm curious. I want that job. See,
A great experience.
someone else. Well, it's challenging. Right? It's challenging. Nothing's impossible. Everything's challenging.
Not easy.
Yeah.
Right, guys. If there are no other questions,
No questions.
I will let you go.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I thank you. Thank you for your time and patience.
Thank you, Mr. Chesner, for the lesson.
Like I said, I need to process the video. I'll upload it. I'll send Bezod the link. He'll send them to everyone in the group. That way you can download all the information, everything we looked at today. So everything will be available. Okay.
Can you leave your email as well here in
I-
the chat or somewhere on the YouTube channel maybe?
Right.
So we'll send you some emails like
I-
in test.
so- I'm going to give it to you now. So everyone copy and paste. .com.
Thank you.
It's basically my name at gmail.com. All small, all together.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
Right.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Has everyone copied the email?
Copied? No.
Not yet.
Yeah, I have.
Just wait.
I already
minutes.
remember. It's all
Send it to the
for
group.
your name, I guess.
Yeah,
Mark
just
Anthony.
Mark
Yeah.
Anthony with a T, right? Yeah, you
Yeah.
could copy it and send it to your group. You have a group, right? For all the participants.
Okay,
Mhm.
please send it.
I sent it.
No, just I said to Hurmat Big. I mean Hurmat Big.
Okay, right. Right, guys. Okay. So congratulations for arriving to to the finals. Right.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sure it wasn't easy.
Yes.
And let's just work at doing the best job we can do, and you're already all winners. So let's just do the best we can do. How's that?
Thank you for your support, your
Okay.
instructions.
You're welcome. You're very, very welcome.
Mhm.
Right. If there's nothing else,
Just goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Thank you.
okay. Till tomorrow.
Goodbye.